All right. Patrick Bateman writes, what's the best Ryan Gosling film? I love Drive. Want to hear your thoughts. Hashtag beef jerky. Love it.
That's how you get on the air these days. The best Ryan Gosling movie is a tough one because I'm not a huge fan of all the movies he's been in. Crazy Stupid Love is definitely not my favorite Ryan Gosling movie. I wasn't a huge fan of it like everybody else is. The best Ryan Gosling movie is the first 10 minutes of Drive. That's the best Ryan Gosling movie. And then it kind of goes in a different direction that I still enjoyed the movie, but not as much as I maybe wanted to. I liked his storyline the best in Place Beyond the Pines. And then he had that political thrill with George Clooney that was pretty decent. So, I don't know, Shep, favorite Ryan Gosling movie?
I love that you said Place Beyond the Pines. That's such an amazing film. When I saw that, I didn't know what I think I didn't even see a trailer for it, and it is so spectacular. Underrated film. It's like basically 3 movies in one. It's such a strange, surreal storyline. I have a special place in my heart for Only God Forgives. The same director, Nicholas Winding Refn. Directed that with him. I love Drive. I also love Only God Forgives. It's a really weird film. Check it out. It's on Netflix right now or Amazon, where you can stream it. So
I'd say a tie between Drive and A Place Beyond the Pines. I'd say Place Beyond the Pines, though, because it's in that 3-act structure where they pass the story along. He's not the main character for the whole time. Right. So then I guess maybe I default to the Drive.
I think all of our answers could change after this summer when we get to see The Nice Guys, because everybody's going bonkers about that trailer. Him and Russell Crowe together look hysterical, so keep your eyes open for The Nice Guys.
Well, it definitely wasn't Gangster Squad, that's for sure.
Yes.
Here comes Santa Claus! Yeah. What do we got next, Ash?
Food Mansing writes, what is your favorite true crime movie?
Favorite true crime movie. So it's got to be based on a crime that actually happened, right?
Right.
Or it could be multiple crimes.
I'm gonna flavor that and pull it away from true crime and just be L.A. Confidential, son. It's like true crime, but that's, what is really, it's always like based on a true story, and it's never the true story because it's an adaptation. Any kind of movie, unless it's a documentary, is not real. It's like fabricated. So
I mean, mine would be my favorite movie, which is Goodfellas, but it's based on multiple, most notably was the Lufthansa heist, but there was multiple crime happening in that movie.
Food Mansing, get your stuff together. We can't answer that question. It's true crime. It's got to be like something in a movie related, like, hey, it's like film noir, it's gangsters. We could rock that. I agree with Dennis. Goodfellas is one of the top, best all-time films. See Mean Streets.
You can totally do true crime, and I'll tell you why. Zodiac. I had not seen Zodiac ever in the life of me. All 21 years I've been alive, I had not seen Zodiac. And then I checked it out on Netflix not too long ago. And my God, that movie is so compelling. And it's got like half the cast of the Avengers in it. So for no other reason, check out Zodiac. It's a long watch, but it's a worthwhile watch.
I agree. Zodiac's great.
All right, Fernando Ruiz writes, have you guys ever snuck food into the movies, maybe when you were younger?
When I was younger? How about today? Or tomorrow?
Last week, son, all the time, yo. All the time.
I'm the guy who like goes to the liquor store or whatever and buys a bunch of candy and then like stuffs it in my pocket and then walks in.
I like that you're buying your candy at a liquor store. That's a man with class right there.
Dennis Zhang, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Nachos. I'm always buying those nachos. And when I go to AMC, they have a great set of nachos with that cheddar cheese. But
you're not sneaking them in.
No, I buy those. But then, once in a while, I buy the popcorn too. But once in a while, get a snack, bring it in.
I still will buy drinks and like popcorn or whatever. But then I'll have like a gummy bears or some other candy on the side.
So you feel a little bit, your conscience is weighing on you a little bit because you snuck in the gummy bears, so you try to balance it out.
That and it's pretty hard to sneak in a tub of popcorn. I'd be like, I'm coming
Brought
in.
my own personal popcorn. What's the problem?
Well, that's what bums me out about movie theaters in general. It's a weird complaint to have, but it's like they're so lax on letting you bring in whatever snacks you want. You go to any theater in LA and just walk in. It doesn't matter what you have. You could have a protein shake. You could have a Vitamix blender and just be drinking out of it, and they'll let you walk in. And it's like, does nobody care? Anyway, when I was a kid, you could not take anything into a movie theater. I remember one time my aunt took us to go see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I was so excited to get fat little Mark Ellis a big tub of popcorn. And our aunt she snuck in little tiny bite-sized, like healthy things that we could not buy popcorn. So she's like, no, you don't need food because I brought you food. And I'm like, this is either the worst fat camp of all time or this is some sort of BS because I come to the movie theater for one thing and one thing only, and that's to eat popcorn. The movie is icing on the cake, which I'll probably eat too.
Well, you know, AMC
It's a good little
16.
rant. I got heated up.
They're AMC 16, the theater right here in Burbank. They actually, you walk in there with a drink. I'm sorry, sir, you have to finish
do
that
they
drink.
police it
Yeah,
there?
they police it. So they're very strict. Some theaters are stricter than others about bringing in drinks, especially because we all know drinks and popcorn is how theaters make their money. So it's cool to support them in that area, I think.
Yeah, and if you're gonna bring something into the theater, just don't bring dinner in. Don't bring like goulash into the theater. Don't bring a burrito into the theater. I think the consensus here at the table is that you bring in like candy.
Yeah.
I think candy's a fair
Candy is
thing
cool.
to bring into the theater, or maybe beef jerky as long as it's not too pungent.
Right.
All right, Evan Ryan writes, Mark, I guess you're kind of funny, so this is a good question for you. Why is it so hard to make comedy sequels?
I don't know why it's hard to make comedy sequels, but it is damn near impossible to do it well. I never saw the first Ride Along, so I can't speak to how funny that movie was. The second one wasn't good. But you just have some all-time stinkers that happen to be comedy sequels. Caddyshack 2 might be the worst film ever made. But that's not to say that you can't make a good comedy sequel. The Naked Gun 2.5, I think, is funnier than the first Naked Gun. Wayne's World 2, I think, is funnier than the first Wayne's World. So it can be done. Why is it, Dennis, why is it so hard to make a comedy sequel funny?
I think because the initial premise of the comedies is they're put in a certain situation, and so when they have to do it again, they either recycle the same ones and not have the same jokes. Like 22 Jump Street was a great example of doing it right, where they did recycle all the same plot points, but they did it in a very funny way. And I feel like most comedy sequels don't do that. They recycle the plot points, but then they recycle the same jokes instead of coming up with new jokes within those plot points.
Yeah, like I know the Golden Globes is paying for The Martian 2, which is going to be an amazing comedy sequel. You know what? Like for me, like there's not really a lot of comedy sequels because I think comedies work great as standalones. You know, I mean, like you mentioned, The Naked Gun, that definitely, and Wayne's World, because those were sketches that already were like had these two characters, so it's easier to take them and move them from scenario to scenario because you're not really watching the movie for the story. You're watching it for, oh, what are these idiotic characters going to do in this situation? So I think when you have great characters, you have a little more freedom to be able to move them around. I don't know if it works. I haven't seen Ride Along 2, but I guess you move them to Miami, things explode. It didn't really work that well, but Miami's awesome. I was just in Miami last weekend. What's up, Miami? It's really hard to make sequels, and I don't like sequels to comedies. That's in general. Like, if they made Young Frankenstein 2, just in general, I would be like, that's horrible. Young Frankenstein is one of the greatest comedies ever made. It doesn't need a sequel.
But if they made Spaceballs too, I think we'd all want to see The Search for More Money.
The Farce Awakens.
I know somebody personally who actually met you in Miami, and they said you were very nice. So there we go. Let's take two more questions today.
Okay,
Ash.
a lot of people are asking this, so I have to ask it. Juan Samirbara writes, I love beef jerky. Anyway, thoughts on the surprise Deadpool screening?
I love the news of the surprise Deadpool screening. If you haven't heard about it, so Fox had this publicity stunt where they had some fans in New York and some fans in Los Angeles go to a theater under the premise of you're going to see some new footage of Deadpool. Like, I went to go see 16 minutes of Avatar back 6 months before that opened, and I was excited to see 16 minutes. But what Fox actually did is they showed fans the entire finished cut of the movie, and fans went crazy online talking about how great it is. When you believe in a movie and you think this movie is going to do something special, this is a perfect marketing stunt. I think it's the way to go.
Yeah, I think that's one of the smarter things. I mean, the viral campaign for this movie is unheard of. It's amazing. It's hitting every mark. For them to do this for fans of Deadpool, I think is great. So that being said, you know they're fans of Deadpool. So they're going to be like, why we love the movie. So it's like it's okay that nerds freaked out and it hit the nerd, gasm button, and it did the right thing. None of the nerds were like, it sucked, it didn't do what I wanted it to. They were like, it's amazing. So to me, I'm super happy that all the nerds are happy because that means I'm going to be happy because I'm a giant nerd, so I cannot wait to see Deadpool. I made a bet with Chris Gore over the weekend in Miami. I was like, look, Deadpool is going to make $100 million opening weekend. I know that's a really hard thing to get. It's an R-rated film. It's really hard to get $100 million over the weekend. Why am I betting it? Because I believe in this film. I think it's fun that it's taking these risks, and I like properties that take risks, especially in this day and age when it's so easy to make sequels and plop stuff out and you do by the number stuff and certain things fall apart because they didn't take care. Like you look at Fantastic Four and why it derailed and why it wasn't a good film. It's the studio's meddling. This is where the studio's backed off and they're like, we're going to listen to the people making the film. And look at it's Fox. They're like such hardballs. You'd think they'd be like, no, it's got to be PG, not even PG-13. I gotta give my respect to Fox for letting this happen, and I want it to be good. I want it to be a success, and to hear the fans go crazy and nuts makes me really happy. Gore, you're gonna owe me $250. I'm sorry.
That's the bet?
No, it's only $25.
Oh.
But you're gonna owe me $25.
Still a good chunk of money.
I know.
Yeah, I actually heard one lone complaint, I guess, on Facebook on one of our Collider Movie Talk fan pages. Someone had said they went to the screen and they said they didn't care for it. But that's one isolated incident. I'm sure most of the buzz is that people loved it. I did go home this weekend and I dug out my New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool. It actually was in pretty good condition,
Nice.
so I'm gonna, take that, maybe go get it CGC graded and sell that thing as Deadpool is up in the spotlight right now.
Sure. Okay, well, in 2 minutes, I go from talk show host back to being a pumpkin. So let's hurry up with this last question,
right.
Ashley.
Ricardo Duran writes, why are there so many award shows when the most prestigious one is the Oscars? Hashtag beef jerky.
Should have ended one question earlier.
Are you pumpkin yet?
I'm still human boy Mark Ellis hosting a show. I think it's just there's a lot of different groups that want to give out awards, and it's not just the Oscars are the most prestigious, but you have the group of critics that want to give their award. You have the Screen Actors Guild that want to give their award. You have the Golden Globes, the Hollywood Foreign Press, who wants to get hammered and give out awards to whoever they see might be a funny comedy about a guy stranded on Mars. So a lot of different groups all deserve to give out their awards.
Yeah, I mean, awards are great. Who doesn't want to win an award? I got an award for high clumpage. It's coming out next week. So the 5 special people will probably get this brand new award that I'm going to be announcing next week. Awards are great. Everybody likes to go award shows unless you get dressed up. You got a reason to go get drunk. Look at my brand new tuxedo. Look at this dress. Look at all you get to hang out with all your friends. That's why award shows are awesome. It doesn't matter. You get the thing. You're like, I put it it's in my closet, or I threw it away. I burned it in front of all my friends. Look at this. Ha.
I mean, it's the same reason why everyone, does YouTube channels giving movie reviews, right? They want their opinions out there. They want someone like SAG is like, okay, well, we say that these guys are the best actors, or this is the best ensemble. That's another Oscar that they should have, is an ensemble one for acting. But I feel like each organization wants to kind of get their own opinion out there and say, this is the movie that we think is the best of the year, So I think everyone's just vying for it. So despite the Oscars being the big one, I think other places want to give their opinion.
Right, and for the Oscars, I personally think George Miller is going to win the Oscar for Best Director, but if they had Best Comedy, that would be Ridley Scott for The Martian. That if they just allowed this to happen for the Oscars.
Because it was so hysterical.
Yeah.
Everybody loves winning an award.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.